Gaurang, big news coming in for Tata Motors. In fact, Street has given it a big thumbs down. Tata Motors was trading with cuts of almost 4% in trade today after, the JLR presentation that they gave a cut on the EBIT margin front for FY26 of 5 to 7% from an earlier 10%. So that's a big cut coming in there. Also, FY26 free cash flow guidance has now been is now close to zero. Firstly, what is your first sense of these two big things that stood out from the JLR presentation?
Well, thank you so much for having me on this, and good evening to all of you all. So, margins being scaled down and free cash flow generation virtually zero. This would primarily mean that the earnings will definitely come under pressure for Tata Motors, at least for the first 2 quarters. It will remain to be seen how UK and US FTA getting signed, sealed and delivered. That would open up opportunity in terms of the concerns for exports of JLR cars to the US. Now, as we all know, JLR happens to be a high margin product and contributes to a great extent to the top line and bottom line. And of course, their plans of Freelander also auguring well in the near future could ease the sentiments. But scaling down of margins and free cash flow generation to zero will have its impact. We'll have to see how the domestic Tata Motor business does in terms of its contribution, because not to forget, there are a couple of launches that have been lined up by Tata Motors in different categories. Certain avatars getting relaunched with better features and better facilities. Commercial vehicle business also is likely to do well. So, on one hand, JLR remains to be a concern, at least in the short to medium term. But I think if the domestic business does well and commercial vehicle business does well, then that impact of negativity can soften.
Right. Gaurang, also, having said that, like you said, the earnings could come under pressure, but, the overhang from tariffs and the slowdown from the demand in China, that was seeming to be improving, but now we are back to square one.
Yes, that is also a concern because China happens to be a big market for JLR. And there again, the work is in progress between US and China as far as tariff-related issues are concerned. And of course, the Chinese economy overall is also struggling a little bit. The government and the administrations over there are doing the right things in terms of reviving the economy. Again, that's a big spot in terms of market contribution to JLR cars for Tata Motors. In case if in the near term the tariff-related agreements are in place between US and China, then that will be a little bit positive. That will again soften the impact. But like I said, the reason why I said that the first 2 quarters could be under pressure is primarily because, these tariff-related agreements or free trade agreements takes time to be in place in terms of getting it signed, sealed and delivered. That's primarily the reason. My view is that at least for first 2 quarters, there will be an impact on the earnings as far as Tata Motors is concerned from the JLR front.
For FY25 also, JLR's contribution has been a good 70% to the Tata Motors revenues and 80% to its profitability. So now that it has come under pressure and under question, how do the investors look at Tata Motors as a stock?
So I think, we have to look at long term. And there is again, this company has made a statement about hiving off the 2 business verticals as a separate entity, passenger vehicles on the one side, commercial vehicles on the other side. Possibility of shifting productions to Sanand in Gujarat and the initiative in terms of new business strategies and production lineup coming up. Possibly, I'm just using a possibility over here of JLR being manufactured in Sanand, Gujarat. That will possibly lower the cost also and have a little bit of a positive impact. But this is all long term. I don't think in immediately 3 to 6 months one can expect miracles to happen, because it will take time for things to get in right and proper place, and possibly that is one of the reasons why the first half of this new financial year could be challenging for Tata Motors.